Battlefield 6 Season 1 was just revealed, but it wasn't without some controversy. In this video, we'll be going over every single thing you need to know, including weapons, skins, modes, and portal progression updates that are actually fresh off the news press. So let's start going over this stuff. If you want to keep up to date with Battlefield 6, hit the sub button. I'm going to be putting out a ton more guides, tips and tricks, all that sort of stuff. Hit the like button, and of course, let me know what you think about how Season 1 is starting to look. For those of you that are unaware about Battlefield 6 Season 1 and how it actually is going to work, October 28th is when the first stint of it drops. It is separated into 3 separate sections. On October 28th, Rogue Ops starts, and we get 1 new mode, 1 new map, 1 new vehicle, 3 new weapons, new weapon attachments, and of course, a new battle pass. And then after that, we'll have to wait until November 18th and December 9th for the rest of Season 1's content. As you can see in the background right now, Season 1's trailer dropped. It's your typical good Battlefield trailer. The trailer team at Battlefield have been saying for years, completely carries the entire franchise. Great job to whoever makes these trailers. The first map that we're going to be getting in Season 1 is Blackwell Fields, and we have some new shots of it here. As you can see, it's going to be pretty interesting. I think some content from creators that were invited to events dropped today, so there might be some gameplay out there. But map looks pretty flat. Hopefully that doesn't pan out in actual gameplay. And on top of that, we actually got to see a sneak preview of the second map that will be dropping in Season 1 called Eastwood. Now, this map looks really, really great. Here's a screenshot of the overhead layout for Eastwood. As you can see, it's a fairly typical layout, fairly thin. The map isn't very wide, and it's a very standard 5-flag layout with 2 flags near each respective uncap, and then of course there's a center flag. This map has actually received some early criticism for just being very predictable in its layout. DICE doesn't seem to be trying any sort of crazy flag layouts or anything like that. A lot of the maps do seem to be tailored to support multiple different game modes, and that is why I think this map isn't too wide, because of course they have to adapt it to Breakthrough and other linear game modes, and I suppose that's just something that happens as a side effect of Breakthrough being an available game mode. It will ultimately affect map design and what is applicable to that game mode. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Season 1 didn't drop without any controversy. In one of the early content sneak peek videos that went up on YouTube, there was this in the video, and it showed all the skins in Season 1, and of course, as you guys can probably imagine, Reddit and social media are completely freaking out over some of the skins in this. Ultimately, I don't really think it's too big of a deal. I think all of these skins actually look pretty awesome. There's only 1 or 2 that I would consider to be on the more out there side of things, namely bottom middle of your screen, the guy with the orange magazines on his chest rig. Obviously, that's going to cause some question marks to go up, but again, I don't think it's that egregious. This is certainly not to the level of Call of Duty where we have a Ninja Turtle running around shooting a Terminator. You know, it's just not close to that. So while I do understand the Battlefield community's position on this, I do think the Battlefield community is just a little bit unreasonable. Don't you guys think? I mean, come on. This isn't the end of the fucking world. I even saw a post saying, guys, if you don't push back against skins right now, they're just going to get uglier and uglier as the game passes on. And to be honest with you, I don't think that's necessarily true in the case of Battlefield 6. I think they have a good understanding of what they can do, and I don't think they're going to go overboard. And something that helps back that opinion up is here are a bunch of the Season 1 weapon skins. I'm not sure if these are all of the weapon skins. This is via Battlefield Bulletin, so there are certainly a lot here. And I think if they were going to go overboard on skins, we would see at least one crazy one here, and I have to be honest, I think they all look very reasonable. Now on to some more information as to just what we're getting within Season 1. The new vehicle that's being added is called the APC Traverser Mark II. It is an armored personnel land carrier with 4 seats. It has 1 driver, 1 roof gunner, and 2 backseat passenger side gunners. And it looks very mean, and we're rolling on big old tires. So something tells me this vehicle is not going to be one of those things where you just look at it and sort of laugh as if it's not a threat. I have a feeling with the way vehicle top-mounted weapons are balanced right now, this thing is going to mean some business. Now, on top of the new vehicle, we're also getting a brand new game mode on October 28th, and then more new game modes as Season 1 goes on. But the first one we're getting is called Strike Point. This is a 4v4 single elimination round-based game mode where basically two teams fight over one objective. Sounds a lot like Call of Duty Search and Destroy to me. The game mode is won by winning 6 rounds, and I have a feeling this is going to be very sweaty, but I also have a feeling this is going to be super fun. I think Battlefield 6 will lend itself very well to this sort of maybe slower-paced, squad-based, competitive-oriented game mode. I think this is going to be super fun. But keep in mind, this stuff is just all the stuff we're going to be getting right on October 28th. As Season 1 progresses, we will be getting a snow version of Empire State, Eastwood, new weapons, game modes, and all that other stuff. So, Season 1, honestly, looking pretty awesome. But one of the coolest things about Season 1 that I haven't seen many people talk about is the Season 1 Battle Pass will be focused on player choice, according to Battlefield Bulletin. The Battle Pass features 4 distinct progression paths, with a 5th bonus path unlocking once all 4 have been completed. Each of these paths will have around 22 separate rewards. Some are free and some require Battlefield Pro. So that's definitely cool. I like the 4 different progression paths. I just hope this Battlefield Pro thing doesn't get in the way of anything. I honestly don't even know what that is. If you do, comment down below. And then just one cool thing before we move on to Portal, there are going to be parachute skins in Battlefield 6. Now, no doubt this is because there's going to be a Battle Royale in Battlefield 6, so I think parachute skins are EA taking a bit of a page out of PUBG's book. But onto the Portal stuff. Obviously, just a couple days ago, we had big news regarding DICE going after bot XP farms, and they're changing things around that. But this is completely separate. Coming from Ghost Gaming, he says some Battlefield 6 Portal map creators are receiving warnings for inappropriate references to third-party products. In this case, referencing the popular COD map Shipment, it's most likely because EA are worried about potential legal repercussions from Activision and Blizzard. Seems people will have to rename these experiences, but that will make them incredibly hard to search for. One of Portal's biggest attractions, and one of the main reasons why you would even want to play Portal, is the map editor. You can make insane things, and obviously people were making Call of Duty Shipment for one, but Dust 2 was also made by the developers of Battlefield 6 to show off Portal's capabilities. Now, with outside pressure from these other big corporations, you're not going to be able to call the map by its actual name. For instance, if you want to make Shipment, you're probably going to have to call it, like, I don't know, Delivery, or Crateville, or some bullshit like that. So the community is essentially going to have to come up with names for already understood maps in order for people to actually continue to make maps from other games in Battlefield 6. Dust 2 is going to have to be renamed to, I don't know, Sandstone 1 or some shit. So crazy news there regarding Portal. Be careful if you're trying to replicate a new map now. And then on top of that, we have a brand new response to the community concern regarding the new Portal changes that are coming with the XP stuff. So this is coming from, I believe, Steam, from EA Shepherd. This is from Battlefield Bulletin. This is an official person. He says, "Hey there, we appreciate the replies and feedback on this, so I put together a list of what we're hearing. Many of you want full progression in solo co-op on curated custom servers, not just in match-made PvP. There's real frustration about expectations versus what shipped. Our messaging around progression eligibility wasn't clear. Some of you worry about stat/leaderboard integrity and bot farm exploits. Players with limited time prefer low-stress PvE and still want meaningful unlocks. Progression in PvE and curated servers test. We're enabling account XP and unlock/unlock track progression in solo co-op and a curated list of community servers. To protect stats, KD leaderboards and certain mastery tallies won't update in these spaces during the test. If the data looks good, low exploit/noise will expand eligibility. Anti-farm guardrails, minimum difficulty activity checks, AFK/loop detection, mixed target requirements, and sensible XP per minute caps. Servers that trip exploit signals will lose progression eligible status until fixed. Clear labeling. Modes/servers will be tagged progression eligible or not eligible in browser and pre-match screen, with a short tooltip explaining why. What we need from you, the data. If you hit a legitimate mode, that should be eligible but isn't, drop the server code / name, platform, and time here. Feel free to tag me and I will compile all that data and send it up. If you spot obvious farm servers, flag them, include the code and what you saw. Keep the feedback coming on where progression matters most to you. You play it, you progress, you have fun, make your voice heard. I think this statement from him is great. However, I would love to see this communicated on a larger platform. I certainly hope this exact messaging or a version of it will be included in the larger post they teased about Portal just a couple days ago on the Battlefield community Twitter. So for those of you concerned about Portal, particularly in lower population regions, concerned about game progression and XP, keep your eyes out in the next couple days. When they put out the Portal community post, I will be covering it in its entirety. So that's going to wrap this video up. Battlefield 6 Season 1 starts October 28th. I've been having a great time on the game. I think I'm like top 100 in kills right now. Listen, I've been playing the game a lot, right? I haven't played a game as much as I've played Battlefield 6 in a very, very long time. And it's nice to sit down with the boys and actually have a good time again, rather than slamming our heads against the wall that was Battlefield 2042. Or, you know, actually I don't remember the name of that game. Anyway, if you enjoy the content and want to keep up to date with Battlefield 6, hit the sub button, like button, and of course, leave a comment. What do you think about all this stuff? Also, swing by the streams. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders. All links in the description. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.